In the last video, we have seen justify content property, which works on the main axis. There is another property for flex container, that is align items. The align items property is similar to the justify content property. The only difference is that align items property works on cross axis. It defines how the flex item will be laid out on the cross axis inside a flex container. And the values it accepts are stretch, flex start, flex end, center, and baseline. Alright, let's experiment all of these values one by one. Right now on our page, again we have same different boxes of different color and which is inside a container, and here to the container I have applied display flex. So now we have a property that is align items. So first of all, let's apply align items, say center. So as we know, align items property work on cross axis. So let's check out over here, no changes. As align items property works on the cross axis, and on the cross axis right now the container does not have any space, so we will not find any changes whatever the value we will apply for align items. Say let's say here flex start, save the file, give it a refresh, no changes. Flex end, save the file, give it a refresh, no changes, just because we don't have any extra space on this container on the cross axis. Alright, let's give some height to this container so that we should have some extra space on our container so that we can experiment our align items property. Alright, so let's apply height maybe 100 VH, and in the last video I have also applied 100 VH. So what is 100 VH? There are two length unit, that is VW as well as V height. The VW is the viewport width, which is width of screen on the horizontal direction, and next we have VH. VH is the viewport height from top to bottom here. This is the VH, that is 100 VH, and this is the VW, that is 100 VW. Alright, here we have applied 100 VH. So now our container will be having full height 100 VH from top to bottom. So save the file here and give it a refresh here. Great. As soon as we apply 100 VH height and our items aligned on the cross axis towards the end point, as we can see here, align items we have applied flex end, and then let's apply say center here. So now give it a refresh. Now items will be aligned in the center on the cross axis. Great. Okay, alright, let's get rid of this here. Let's check out our page here. Alright, here we can see all items has stretched on the cross axis. It's just because for the align items we have a value that is stretch, and that's the default value. So if we apply here stretch for the align items property and then give it a refresh here, there will be no changes. Next we have say flex start. Now save the file, give it a refresh here. The item will be starting from the start point on the cross axis, and similarly we have flex end we have seen at the end point, towards the end point actually, and for the center we have items on the center on cross axis. Lastly, for the align items property we have a value. This is something special, baseline. Let's check out our page here. Right now we won't find any changes for the baseline. Actually the baseline value depends upon the text baseline that we see inside these all boxes here. Right now each and every text is having same size, so that's why each and every text is also having the same baseline. So we can see here items are aligned on the baseline here. Right now we do not see any difference between baseline as well as flex start, but to see the difference let's apply different font size for all of these items inside the box. So say box 1 font size 44 px, and let's copy and paste and we will change the value. Alright, for this 2 let's apply 32, and box 3 we can say 84 px, and box 10 say 77 px, box 4 font size we can say 64 px. Alright, now we have different font size for each and every boxes. So now let's give it a refresh and see the result here. Alright, let's change the font size of few in the middle also. For the 7, say box 7 font size maybe 56 px, and box 8 font size maybe again 24 px. Alright, now let's check out our page here. Great. Now we have different font size for these texts, but if you look closely, all these items are sitting on a baseline. So that's why each and every item has been aligned according to the baseline of these texts. So let's see one diagram here. If you draw a horizontal line for the text, you will find each and every text is sitting on that baseline, and accordingly the boxes are aligned on the cross axis. That's exactly how baseline works. Alright, these are the different values for the align items. We have seen stretch, flex start, flex end, center, and then we have seen baseline at the end. Now as we know, the align items works on the cross axis. Now let's change the direction of the axis here. So for changing direction, we have one property, that is flex direction. Alright, great. So let's apply column here. Now save the file, give it a refresh. Now our cross axis is this way, from left to right, because we changed the direction, and our main axis from top to bottom this time. And now if we will be applying values for the align items, this time it will work on the horizontal direction, that means on the cross axis. Say here, let's say for the align items, say stretch. Save the file, give it a refresh. As we can see, each and every items stretched on the cross axis. Let's experiment rest of the values. Say flex start, save the file, give it a refresh. Great. Flex end. Now each and every item is aligned towards the end point of the container. Actually our items are overflowing because we applied 100 VH height up to this container. Now we have here center. Great, each and every item is on the center, and baseline. That's how exactly align item work. Okay, to differentiate which property works on the cross axis and which property works on the main axis, just keep in mind justify will always work on main axis and align will always work on cross axis.